welcome back to Brown's Neighborhood Podcast. Boy, we got Omar. Man, look here, man. It took me a while to bring Omar in. I had to get him when I can, because he's moving like the speed of light. You know what I'm saying? But Omar come from the neighborhood. We just want to know a little bit about him. You know, it's a testimony. See, sometimes we say a story, but people's life is a testimony. And God still got him here. You see him, don't you? He survived. When you come up in some neighborhoods, it's about survival. So I'm just giving you a tip. But Omar gonna tell how it went and how God saved him. I'll tell you about mine later, because it's a long book. It's a big book, maybe that thick. A lot went on in the last 60 years.
Yes, sir.
Where were you born at? Were you born in California?
I was born in Compton, California.
Compton, California. Boy, Compton got a hell of a name, too. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, man, people were scared to go to Compton. You know what I'm saying? If they did, they better know where they was going. You know what I'm saying? So you was born in Compton, California. What school you went to over there in Compton?
I was born in Compton, but I didn't grow up in Compton.
Where you grew up at?
I grew up right here on 619 West Imperial Highway.
619?
Yes, sir.
West Imperial Highway?
Yes, sir.
God, dog, you went
Not too far from where we're recording from.
Is that right? You went to that Figueroa
Yeah,
school?
I went to Figueroa Elementary Street School.
You did?
Yeah.
Right on the block. He could just go around the corner and he at school.
Yeah.
Man, was this a black neighborhood when you was coming up?
It was predominantly a black neighborhood when I was growing up. It was Hispanics, but there was, few.
Few.
It was predominantly black neighborhood, and now it's not.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a lot of change going on, but it's a black and brown community now. It's not that it's a bad thing.
Right.
It's just got to figure out how to work together.
Right. So it's still a lot of black people in the neighborhood.
Still a lot of black people in the
neighborhood. That's
neighborhood.
good, because a lot of them moved out. Some of them thought it was better to move out when they should have stayed and made the community good. The community is good. It's what you make it anyway. So you went over there to Figueroa Elementary. Did you go all the way through the 6th grade?
No, I went to Figueroa. I think I went to Figueroa because I moved around as a child a little bit.
Moved around?
Yeah. So I lived in San Diego. I lived in Sacramento. I lived in Maryland, D.C.
Wait a minute. One step at a time. I get these people, they be going on. My dog. So when did you start at Figueroa?
I started at Figueroa pre-K.
Pre-K?
Yeah.
And how long did you stay at Figueroa?
I stayed at Figueroa till I think maybe the 1st grade.
And then you moved where?
I moved to Washington, D.C.
God, you and moms?
Yeah, me, my moms, my stepfather, and my 2 older siblings.
Man, when you want to take up the stake and go all the way to Washington, D.C., well, you was too little to know too much.
I mean, that's originally where my stepfather roots was. So his mother had a house back there, if I'm not mistaken. I was young. I was probably like 3-4 years old, but it's some of my youngest, where I can remember back being a child.
How long did you stay out there in Washington, D.C.?
It wasn't too long. I would say maybe a year. It wasn't too long. Then we always ended back right here. Always ended up
Wait
back
a minute, man. He gonna uproot the family, go to Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Mom said no and come back.
Come back.
Did he come back?
Yeah.
He came back too?
Yeah.
And so where did y'all move? Did you come to L.A. or where you went?
619 West Imperial Highway.
But you came back to the same place?
To the same place.
How you gonna get the same spot?
There's some people that never left. My grandmother lived there, so,
Okay. All right, so moms came on back. 619 was waiting.
Yeah.
How long did you stay? You went back to Figueroa again?
No, not quite yet. We stayed there. And matter of fact, I did. Because I went to this, I don't know if you remember, it was I started pre-K right there on Imperial and Hoover.
Okay.
Because it was a little preschool right there. I started there, really. That's where I started. Then I not to backtrack, but that's where I started at.
Right.
It's right there. Then I went to Figueroa. And that's the only school I remember going to as a child was Figueroa till we moved to San Diego.
So you was over at that little pre-K.
Yeah.
Went to Washington, D.C., come back.
Come back, yeah.
Then where you was going?
To
Figueroa. Now you was at Figueroa.
Yeah.
How long you think you stayed at Figueroa?
I think I stayed at Figueroa probably to the 3rd grade.
To the 3rd grade. So you got big enough to kind of know a little something.
Yeah.
You know.
Then we moved away again.
Where you moved this time?
San Diego.
Okay, well that wasn't too far. You went on up to Diego.
Yeah.
Was stepdad still with you?
Yes, sir.
So he was hanging in there.
Yeah.
He was hanging in there.
He was hanging around a lot, you know what I'm saying? He was the one. He was the one there, like, you know, he played a father role in my life.
Was he playing a good father role? Now we want the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
He tried, you feel me? But sometimes, you know, it's just you could be too stern with kids that ain't yours.
Was he stern with you?
Yeah, he tried to be stern with me and stuff, like, you know, but
was he stern for good reasons, or was he, you know?
I mean, I think he could have been in like one time I was playing T-ball and I got in trouble in school, and he took me out of T-ball completely. Instead of just penalizing me, hey, you gonna sit out a game, or you ain't gonna go to practice or something, or you gonna sit out a game. Completely pulled me. You feel me? And I feel like that wasn't necessary. You just don't pull. You just completely pull me out. So I always feel like, are you pulling me out so I don't have to participate, or are you pulling me out under yourself reasons, or just trying to teach me a lesson? Oh, you can't mess up. You can't do this. You know, it was just he was a stepfather. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So now, how long did you spend in San Diego?
Maybe 2 years.
Couple of years in San Diego.
Yeah.
Then where from there?
Came back out here for a couple years.
Where is he?
Los Angeles, 619 West Superior Highway.
I want to know exactly how it went. When you leave, you coming back to 619.
Yeah.
Leave again, coming back to 619.
Yeah.
And now you back at 619 after San Diego. So you down in San Diego.
I was about in the 5th grade because I graduated.
Were you playing? Was it black and white down there?
Yeah, it was black and white. I experienced racism in San Diego, all that.
You did?
I had a teacher call me a stupid nigger. You feel me?
In Diego?
Yeah. I experienced the racist part of San Diego for sure.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Man, you know, I mean, boy, I know teachers hit us with that paddle, but they didn't never say, you know.
Yeah, she called me a stupid nigger.
White lady.
Old white lady.
Did you tell anybody about it?
Yeah, I told my mother. My mother came up there and tried to, you know, talk to him about it, but she was an old white teacher, had seniority, and they didn't do nothing with it.
So now you back out of San Diego.
Yeah.
Then when you came back, where did you land in?
Guess what? 619 West Superior.
And back at Figueroa.
Yeah.
Did you graduate from Figueroa? I
graduated from Figueroa. It's the only place I ever graduated from.
Yeah, man. So you graduated from Fig.
Yeah.
After Figueroa, where was the next school?
I went to Gompers Elementary.
Gompers Junior High.
Yeah, Gompers Junior High. I mean, yeah.
So was it dangerous at Gompers?
I mean, it's dangerous everywhere. This is Los Angeles. I feel it's dangerous everywhere. This is Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? It's not nowhere too quiet. Every other 3 blocks, it's a different hood. So
okay, so when you was over at Fig, 6th grade, did you play any sports at the school?
I did. I played basketball at Fig. I played flag football on the flag football team at Fig.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So they did have something for the kids.
Yeah.
Yes, and you was participating.
Yes, sir. I used to go to the after school program every day.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So everything, besides all that moving, everything else was cool.
Yeah, everything was cool, yeah.
Now you get over to Gompers.
Yeah.
School was all right.
School was all right.
Everything good.
Everything's good.
You going to class.
I'm being a knucklehead, but I'm going to class.
Whoa.
I was a class clown. You feel me? I was a class clown.
So what do a class clown does?
They clown.
Do?
They clown. I wasn't doing too good with grades.
In the 7th?
In the 6th or the 7th.
Yeah, I gotta understand. School now might have started. You know, junior high could have started in the 6th.
Yeah, it started in the 6th grade.
Younger. Yeah. So now you in the 6th. You over at Gompers, and you was a class clown.
Yes, sir.
What made you do that?
Because, you know, to be honest, I couldn't read that well. I wasn't a very strong reader. So my way of acting out and getting the attention to turn away from that was to act the fool. You know what I'm saying? So
they want you to read it now. I'm finna light it up
I'm finna light it up now. Now y'all finna hear me crack jokes and whatever, and I'm not gonna pay attention. And I'm just gonna, so that was a big mistake of mine though, because I didn't pull away from school a lot of things I should have. You feel me?
Right,
but,
right.
But I went along the way and got educated my own self. You feel me? Like
so you in the 6th grade, you acting up. Did you go to the 7th grade and go?
I did go to 7th grade. Well, I got kicked out. I think.
What'd you get kicked out for?
Well, it's a teacher, a female teacher. You know what I'm saying, that I had a crush on. I'm not gonna lie.
You had a crush on the teacher?
Yeah, for sure.
What grade was you in?
I was in the 6th grade. I think it was the 6th grade. She was a nice looking, young sister, and I used to clown around in her class and be late, but I'm not knowing the whole time she's keeping a record of everything I do. Like it was like damn near like a setup. Like she kept a record of every late note I came with, every time I was late.
Maybe she knew you was bad.
Yeah. So it came one day and she set me down after class. She said, "Omar, the route you going, you ain't gonna be nothing." And I said, "I'm like, what you mean I ain't gonna be nothing?" Like, to tell a child that, or a young adult male, like, you ain't gonna be nothing. So if you keep going the way you going, I kind of took it the wrong way. So as I'm walking out the class, I said, because she had like a little Holly Berry cut. So I said, you need to get some hair, right? But as we go into the office, it turned into you need to get some head. Then when the final report came out, I told her she need to go get some D.
Well, did you say that?
No, I told her to get some hair. I said you need to get some hair. But she flipped it on me and got me kicked out of school, yeah.
In the 6th grade?
In the 6th grade. Then I bounced around to down there every junior high school.
So what was the next junior high?
I think the next junior high from there was Henry Clay.
You went to Henry Clay. So Henry Clay was pretty cool, wasn't it?
It was all right.
Wasn't no problems over there.
I mean, coming from over here, I got chased home a couple times. I got chased home from Henry Clay. I got chased home from when I went to Bret Hart. They chased me home. You know what I'm saying?
So you went to Henry Clay. They chased you home.
Yeah.
Why?
Time. Just because of where I stayed at.
You only in the 7th grade, and they know where you stay?
Yeah, because I was messing with this little female. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's always been like getting a little bit too much attention, out of unwanted attention over the females. You feel me?
You was getting attention?
Yeah.
Or you just was talking to the wrong girl?
Nah, I mean, I had my pick at him low key. So when you having your pick at him, this dude like this girl, he don't want you to talk to this girl, so he gon' hate on you. I experienced being hated on.
Did you get ran off from Gompers too?
Nah, I didn't get ran off from nowhere.
I mean, when they chase you home.
Nah.
So Gompers, you didn't have to run home.
Nah.
Henry Clay, you ran home.
Yeah.
So you got kicked out of Henry Clay.
Yeah.
Would you get kicked?
Well, yeah, I got kicked out of Henry Clay. I can't remember when I got kicked out of Henry Clay.
But you got kicked out.
Yeah.
Then you went to Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Did they chase you home from Bret Hart?
Yeah.
Man, look here.
Well, I had a fight with one dude, and then it turned into trying to jump me, so I took off. Shit.
Rolling.
Yeah, I'm out of there.
So, did you go to any other junior high?
I went to Markham too.
You went to Markham too?
I went to Markham. I went to.
Did they chase you home from there?
Nah. They actually loved me over there.
Why did they like you over there? Because that's way going back east.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. They just liked me over there.
So you in junior high. You play any sports in junior high?
Yeah, I played basketball in junior high. I was a sports guy growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, where did you play? Did you play at Athens Park or anything?
I played in the AAU league.
You did?
Yeah.
Basketball?
Yeah.
You was good?
Yeah, I had a shot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So wait a minute, man. Look here. You grew up in what neighborhood was that you
I grew up in the Denver Lane Bloods.
You grew up in Denver Lane Blood?
Yeah, always.
So did you ever get involved?
Yeah, I'm a Denver Lane Blood.
Okay. Well, how old were you?
When I first started taking it serious, I was probably 15.
No, I don't want to know when you took it serious. I want to know when the first time you was introduced.
The first time I was introduced is when somebody got shot in my alley when I was like 7 years old.
How you gonna get introduced to a gang at 7?
Cause this is what you learning. What's around you. That's when you introduce.
Okay, so when did you get introduced as
Probably
I'm big enough to be like hanging with the guys?
Oh, I was like 15.
So you didn't get introduced at 12?
Nah, I wasn't that young. My
13.
people's in allowed it. My people's wasn't allowing it.
14?
Nah.
Now you get 15.
Yeah. And now it's kind of like I'm trying to make my own decisions. So,
okay, so you're in AAU basketball, you're playing ball, you ain't in no gang at this time. Did you graduate from junior high or middle school?
No, I never graduated from nowhere but Figueroa. I ain't never graduated from nowhere.
Did they just move you on to high school?
Yeah. Funny thing is, I went to high school and I played the first season of football. I played the season of football the first semester. Then they came to me. This kind of embarrassing, but it's the podcast, so it's the Browns neighborhood, so I was sharing with you. But they came to me after the first semester and said, "Hey man, you ain't got enough credits to be in high school," and send me back to Gompers. So I went to back to Gompers for like 2 days. Then the teacher seen me. They had got me kicked out and said, "I don't want him here." And that's when I went to Markov to like a continuation school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you was at, what high school was that?
Locke. I went to Locke in Fremont.
You went to Locke in Fremont?
Yeah.
Did you know now? How old were you when you went to Locke in Fremont?
I went to that first semester at Locke. I was probably 14 or something, 13.
14.
And after that, I never went back to Locke.
So how did you?
Oh, I did go. I did end up going back to Locke for like another semester.
And how you ended up at Fremont?
The coach.
I mean, did you get kicked out a lot?
Nah. The coach at Locke just told us, "Hey man, I'm not gonna be coaching no more. So if y'all want to," I was originally supposed to go to Fremont from the beginning, but I couldn't get an address to come from my home school to go down all the way on the east side. So it didn't work out. I ended up having to check into Locke. I checked into Locke, went to Locke. After the season of football, the coach told us, "Hey, you could, I'm not gonna be coaching no more. So if y'all want to move on to a different school for a better opportunity, go ahead and do that." And the coach at Fremont already had his eye on me. And then after the game against Fremont, he like, because I already had ties at Fremont because my best friend went there. He played basketball. He was a hooper. I played football and basketball. So it was a connection there. So he's like, yeah, I could get him to come to Fremont easy. So I would end up going to Fremont.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Man, you've been moving around, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you in the neighborhood. How did you get introduced to the Denver Lane?
I mean, I lost my eligibility at school.
You lost your eligibility at school, so you damn near figured you finna drop out.
Damn near just about. So it went from being at practice, coming home as dark as 7 to just want to get on the phone with some ladies and get something to eat and take a shower and call it a night. So I'm getting out of school now at 2:30, 3 o'clock. Now I got all this idle time on my hands. So now I'm coming right back to the neighborhood. And a lot of my friends that I grew up with, they was already making that push towards it already. So I fell in line. Most of the dudes I grew up with, they ended up being from right here.
Right. So you had to get on in line with them.
I didn't have to get in line. It was my choice.
Why did you? So you just made a choice to get in the game.
Yeah.
It was the next best thing.
Sometimes when you it's like when your friends is doing it, you think it's cool for you to do too, and you just go along. Hey, this what we doing, or this what we doing. You know what I'm saying?
Were you ready for the life of a gang member?
Yeah,
you was ready for.
I feel I was advanced.
Well, the life of being in a gang. Being in a gang, you might get called on a mission.
I mean, I done 8 years in the penitentiary, so I had done my missions. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
I ain't been shot up the whole town or something, but yeah, when being in the gang, you're gonna participate in certain activities.
So you participated?
Yeah.
So did you do any hustling?
Yeah, I wasn't a hustler, but I was more so of a jacker.
Oh, you go take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take it. I ain't got time.
Were
to be
you
sitting
were
there.
you went and took? Did you go by yourself, or it was part of the game?
I mean, it was a recreational. It was like
See, that's just like say if it was me. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm jacking. I mean, I got maybe me and my partner. This is what we do. Or is it you, your partner from the game?
I mean, it was times where it was a group effort. You know what I'm saying? It was a group effort.
You was a jacker. You was known for the jack.
I mean, I hustled too, but
so when you hustle, did you hustle for yourself or you work for somebody?
I hustled for myself. In the beginning, as I was learning things, I turned my own house, not to be proud of it, but I turned my own house into a crack house.
What own house? 619?
619.
What?
Yes, sir.
You start serving?
Yeah. When I figured out, this could be done, and this how you could do it.
But the people the family live there.
Exactly, and that was the biggest mistake I made.
Yeah, I mean, it came to the house?
Yeah.
You could have went to the alley or something.
That's the problem. The house was in the alley. See, I had my own back house.
Okay.
From like 13 years old. So it was so much stuff I used to do back there. You feel me? Like I started smoking weed. Started having.
How old were you start smoking weed?
I started smoking weed when I was like 13.
13?
Yeah.
That seemed like about the age that most of these kids start smoking that weed.
Yeah. I was like 12 or 13.
And then 2 years later, you joined the gang.
Yeah.
And now you was an active gang member.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you was doing what a gang member does.
Yeah.
Now, how old were you when you went to jail?
17.
So you joined the gang at 15.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started jacking?
Like 16.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That young?
Yeah.
Who taught you that?
The neighborhood, the older dudes around.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to get to. The older guys that call the shots.
How I look at it is like this. I always was a little like I take something out the stove. Like it just evolved. You know
So how did it start?
Went
You
from
taking out the stove.
It went from pickpocketing candy to now, you know what I'm saying? I figured out, I could get a gun and I could go up in here and get all the money. But it's like a trait that evolves through a human being. Once you pick up something, it develops a trait. So seeing that I was always like a little. I used to take my homies to teach them how to boost. You need some, because I was never the kid at school with the fresh J's on Friday. That was never me. I came from a Cuban family that was believed in, it's not what you want, but what you need. I was fly, but I did it on my own. You know what I'm saying? I was never the kid on Friday with the new J's. So I used to go boosting. I used to go.
How old were you when you went to boosting?
I used to be boosting when I was like late 14, turning 15.
God, dog. So you boosting at 14, you joined the gang at 15. When is the first time you picked up a pistol?
Soon as I started gangbanging, I said I'm gangbanging. I bought my own gun.
And how old? 15?
Yeah.
15, you had your own pistol.
Yeah. I bought my own gun. Didn't nobody have to give me no gun. I bought my own gun.
Carrying it.
Yeah.
You know when you carry that gun, it give you a whole lot of power.
Yeah, but
I mean, man, it don't matter. Once you put it in your waistline, your energy changes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I never was like it changed. It might have changed, but I was never like a.
Well, why did you carry it then?
Because I was gangbanging.
And when you're gangbanging, you carried it for what reasons?
To protect myself.
Okay, well, I'm asking.
If I ran across another fool with a gun, it'd be a fair fight.
Okay, well, I'm asking because this is what I want to know. I mean, you know, some of them carrying it because they might go and do some taking, or they carrying it because I don't know what's going to go down while I'm walking home.
Yeah.
So I got to be ready.
Yeah. That's how it was for me.
So when you was 15, you had already got the mindset to be ready.
Yeah.
17, you went to jail.
Yeah.
For what?
For 211, strong arm robbery.
What did you rob? A liquor store or what?
A liquor store.
I don't know, man.
I robbed the Don Roberto's jewelry store in Van Nuys.
You went, and you was only 17.
Yeah.
You went all the way to Van Nuys.
Yeah.
And robbed a jewelry store. Man, don't you know it's gonna be hell to make it all the way back to L.A.?
Yeah. Well, I didn't find out. I made it back, but not
Oh,
the way
you
I
did
wanted
make
to.
it back?
Yeah, in the police car.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. See, people got, who the one came up with that plan?
Partially, like, just the older homies, you know?
Okay, that's all you had to say. Older homies came up with the plan.
Yeah.
Whenever a plan is designed, it's one that had a plan to take it. Now the plan is, how the hell do I get back?
Yeah. But it was planned out. It was planned out well. It's just, I knew in my head. See, the cold thing about it is the day that happened and we riding on the way to pull this off, something told me in my head, man, you finna go to jail.
Hell yeah.
And
I mean, what you think? You just gonna go way in the Van Nuys, go in there and take it, and now get all the way back to L.A. and the law ain't behind you.
It been done before.
Yeah, it has been done before, but you know, everything happened once, and then the next time the people are ready.
Yeah, they was ready this time.
See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. And you 17, you don't know much. You just following the command.
Nah, I wasn't no dummy though.
No, you ain't gotta be dumb. But when you only 15, and so there's always levels in being in a game.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So when you 15, the ones over here that may be 21 or 22, 23, 25, they the ones that's, more in charge.
Yeah, that was for sure.
So, you 17, I gotta go anyway.
Yeah. I wouldn't it was a choice, like, because I was the only one my age that was going on these type of things. Like, none of like, it was a time where
did you have your gun
I was like the little star player. Like,
you was the star player.
At a little point in time.
Because you had heart with that pistol.
And I was smart with it.
Well, how in the hell you get smart with the pistol?
Because, like, I knew I knew it was the power.
I just told you that earlier.
Exactly, I know that, but like, I wasn't reckless with it.
Okay,
like,
yeah, that's good.
I wouldn't abuse it. I wouldn't try to abuse that power.
So so y'all went down there, y'all got the jury.
Yeah.
Got out the store.
Yeah.
Rolling.
Yeah.
And here come the law.
Here come the law.
You know once the law got on you,
it was over with.
Yeah, really. I mean, when you're young, you got so much heart when you're young.
Yeah.
You don't think. I'm just telling you like it is.
Yeah.
You're thinking, but you ain't really thinking of the consequences.
Nah.
So now, you done went in there, strong arm robbery, you got caught, go to jail. How many years?
I got 9 years with 85%, so I did about 8 years.
9 years with 85%. So you got out maybe when you was about 25, 26.
Yeah.
So you went into jail, and now you gang banging in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how life was being in there for 8 years. Was you in what penitentiary was you in?
I was in Ironwood, then I went
Ironwood? Yeah. Where is that? I ain't never heard of Ironwood.
It's on the border of California in Blythe, California.
Heard of Blythe. So you was in Ironwood Penitentiary.
Yeah.
Any certain level?
3 yard.
You was on the 3 yard.
Yeah.
At 17 years old.
Well, at 18, when I turned. I was held in YA till I turned.
Held in YA.
18.
Turn 18 and ship him out.
Ship me out 3 days after my birthday.
You graduated. You know, you didn't graduate in regular school, but you graduated from the lower prison on up to the bigger grade. So now you're up there with the grown men doing time.
Yeah.
Did you get any trouble while you was there?
Not a lot of trouble.
Well,
I kept my nose clean.
You did?
Yeah.
So you didn't have to do nothing to survive up in there. It was pretty cool.
I mean, I carried a knife to survive, but that was about it.
That was it. You done your time, got out.
Yeah.
Come back to the block.
Yeah.
On probation or parole.
Parole.
Did you get off parole?
Yeah, I made it off parole.
You did make it off parole.
Yeah.
Now, did you come back to the gang again?
Yeah.
So you didn't figure it, I need to leave this alone.
Nah.
Came on back.
Yeah.
Started.
I mean, when I came back, I was like a dog when you lock it in the cage, then you let it out and it run all across the yard crazy.
Yeah.
That's how I was so excited to be out. I wasn't acting
How
like
can
myself.
I get back active?
Yeah, I wasn't as calm and cool as collected as I am now. It took time and things, and for me to have different experiences.
Well, did you have a girlfriend or anything like that?
Yeah.
Did you get it? Did you have a girlfriend in high school and shit?
I had 10 girlfriends in high school. I could call somebody. I call her and she'll attest to it. I'm just joking. But yeah.
But you did have a broad in high school.
Yeah, I always had.
I always
had more than one.
I always asked the young guys when they was in junior high and stuff like that. When the first time that they, learn how to, learn what sex was, making love.
I learned early. It's about the same time I started smoking weed.
About eighth grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually.
No, about the 6th grade.
6th grade?
Yeah.
You started smoking weed in the 6th?
Yeah.
God, dog, I thought you was maybe about the 8th grade.
Nah.
As soon as you got to junior high, you started smoking.
I wasn't like a smoker though. I just smoked here and there. Listen to some little Hot Boys and
what is Hot Boys, like rap?
Juvenile and them, the Hot Boys.
Juvenile, yeah. No Limit then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cash Money.
Yeah. So you started smoking. You started having sex in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
Did you know what you was doing?
Yeah. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew what I was doing. I knew this
what
needed to
What
go
grade
down.
was the girl in? 6th grade too?
Yeah, the girl I lost my virginity to, she was in the 6th grade too. It was at Gompers. We won the basketball championship, so we was able to go to a hotel downtown LA. We creeped off into the fire escape.
Man, y'all needed y'all ass whooped. 6th grade. I know little kids want to try stuff, but he in the 6th.
Yeah.
Having sex.
Yeah.
Did you put it in?
Yeah.
That's
sex. That's sex.
Yeah, you might have was grinding.
I popped her cherry. So
he might have was grinding, and had a little.
I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know what I was doing.
Right.
It was hurting sex. It was you know what I'm saying?
Hey, it might have hurt him more than it hurted her or something. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Nah.
But wow, that is something, 6th grade. Man, I might want to do it in the 6th, but I didn't. I mean, my mind was like, yeah, you can do it, Brown, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Not in the 6th. We were still in elementary. See, you was in junior high, so things changed. But wow, I should have asked that question earlier. So now if you had a girlfriend and doing it in the 6th, so the 7th, 8th, and 9th, it was kind of like. So now you get out. Did you find you a woman once you got out of the penitentiary?
Yeah, but I was running them off because I was so hyperactive and tripping and thinking.
Running them off?
Yeah.
What you gonna run them off for?
Well, I didn't run them off, but
yes, you did. You just said it.
Just one girl left me because she had got pregnant.
Well, that ain't running her off.
But then,
she
got an abortion.
No, look,
I didn't want her to. So that made us kind of
right. But tell me how you run them off.
Just
give it to me straight.
I left when I left the streets. I had a certain little status with getting money and stuff. And you come back
before you went to prison.
Yeah.
So you was getting some money.
Yeah.
Before you left, before you got caught.
Yeah.
You was getting money.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like I was accomplishing all the things that I was working for.
Well, let me ask you a question. Since you're carrying that gun, before you went to prison, did you ever shoot anybody?
Nah.
You just got a gun. You ain't shooting nobody. Nah. He just carrying it like he's ready to shoot him.
Yeah, I'll shoot you if I need be.
Right. I'm just asking. So you had it with you, and you gone. Go on, get out of jail. Get back out, and you wild.
Yeah.
What is wild?
I just was so excited to be out.
And you back active, you know what I'm saying? So did you try any jacking once you got out?
Nah.
You left that alone.
Yeah.
So what did you get into? You just in the game for no reason?
Nah. I mean, I didn't do no serious jacking no more, but I did a couple, you breaking the house and shit like that, but I didn't do no serious jacking.
Well, nigga, if you break in the house, what you breaking in there for?
To come up.
Did you know something was in there?
Nah.
What the hell you gonna go in the house? You don't even know what's in the house. I'm gonna just go in it for no reason, go back to prison, cause I done broke in the house.
Being hungry for money.
But at least know it's something in there.
Hoping there's something in there.
Oh my God, come on now, Omar. You just don't, I mean, you gonna pick the raggediest house on the block.
Yeah.
And go
Not
in.
the raggediest house on the block, but I was just running around, one of my cousins.
If I'm gonna go in somebody's house, I'm gonna wait till they gone, right? I'm gonna hope that I see them with something.
It was the areas we was targeting though. Like it's got to be something in here. I was just running around.
Okay, tell me that.
I got fed up but not.
What area did you go to?
Well, that's undisclosed.
Well, it wasn't a black area.
Nah.
Okay. Well, they ain't gonna know what the hell area you already was way out in Van Nuys, so.
Yeah.
And did you get anything when you went in there?
A couple times, yeah.
So, okay, so you went in there and you got
come up on a few guns, come up on some jewelry, some safes, but that was about it.
Okay, well, you did.
Nothing big enough to retire.
Well, no, that ain't gonna get you retired. No, my God, no. So, after all of that, you're in the gang and everything. When did you start thinking that I need to do something different?
I always was thinking I needed to do something different, even in prison. Like, I always thought I needed to do something different because I realized what was going on. I had a chance to sit down and actually realize what was going on around me in the life that I was leading. So in prison, it hit me. I used to study a lot. I went to, I'm a Muslim, so I went to Juma, you know what I'm saying? And realized, it's nothing but a down spiral. It's just a down spiral. Nobody really makes it out. You know what I'm saying?
So did you go to jail anymore after that?
Yeah, I went to jail a couple times. Did a couple violations.
So you got off parole and then now you went back.
Yeah.
How much time did you stay out before you went back?
Maybe 6 months here.
Wait, no, that ain't very long.
I didn't keep track, bro.
I know, okay. If it was 8 months, 9 months, it's still not very long.
Yeah, I did a couple violations. Then I did.
What'd you get violated for?
Gang, just being around gang members, being around the gang.
When you got out, they told you don't be around gang.
Yeah.
And by you being around them, that was a violation.
Yeah.
And you end up going back and have to do some time.
Yeah.
So you went back for that. You got out.
Yeah.
Went back to the gang again.
Yeah.
You get violated anymore?
Nah. Nah.
Well, what did you go back jail for the next time?
I had a knife on me.
And you was on probation or parole?
I was on probation.
And you had a knife on you?
Yeah, they gave me 32 months for it.
God, just for a knife?
Yeah. Don't be in Lancaster.
You was in Lancaster?
Yeah. AKA Lancaster.
Why were you in Lancaster?
That's where I was living at.
So you moved from the neighborhood and went to Lancaster.
Yeah,
Who you was living with?
I was living with my father at the time.
Your biological?
My biological father.
So before that, when did you start spending time with your biological,
I mean, I always spent time with my biological father. He had a wife. Him and my mother had separated, you know what I'm saying? I always knew my father. It's not like I didn't know my father, but just didn't have as much time as we. See, the thing was, when I had an opportunity at 13 years old to move with my father and I didn't take it. And that's why, my life I didn't see the promise that I should have saw with my life.
Right.
Because I had a chance in sports.
And your dad had moved up to Lancaster?
Yeah, my dad been in Lancaster since the 90s.
Wow, so he was up there.
He already knew. And he watched it slowly. He moved from the west side of Lancaster to the east side of Lancaster to this side of Lancaster. Then he ended up all the way in Lake LA. You know what I'm saying? Where it ain't even no street lights. You know what I mean? Because he's from Palmdale. He's seen more people from LA gravitating out there to gang now, more gangs and all this stuff. So, you know, so I should have took the opportunity at 13 to move with my father and get the discipline that I should have got. You know what I'm saying? To be not saying that I'm not an upstanding man now, but to walk a righteous path.
Back then.
Yeah, to walk a righteous path. You know what I'm saying? To go to know that school is important, you know what I'm saying, while you in school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? After high school, if you want to continue school, then that's up to you. But at least from pre-K to the 12th, it's important that you go to school.
Yeah, and that's good that you say that, so that whoever do listen to it, they, because you never know who gonna listen.
Yeah.
But if a young person hear it, they know, man, it's important to go to school.
Yeah.
It's important to get that degree from high school today, because you might can't even work at McDonald's without the high school diploma. So you're gonna need that. You're gonna need your education.
Yeah.
So now you up in Lancaster with a knife.
Yeah.
Why did you have a knife?
Because
just needed something for protection.
It was like my gun.
And then you just end up getting stopped.
Yeah.
Were you driving or walking?
No, I was walking.
We just gonna stop Omar.
I'm at a hamburger. I'm telling you the true story, because it go along with drug use as well.
Okay.
So I'm at a hamburger stand. I got money on me, you know what I'm saying? And I purchased a breakfast. I'm on my way to go do my little workout, my exercise, and meditate, do what I do on the side in private. So I had a bag with me, and I had honey.
What is that?
Honey.
Like regular honey?
Regular honey. Because I just take a teaspoon of honey just to, clear out the chest and deal with mucus and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, the lady seen me pull out the honey, I guess. I pulled out the honey out of my bag, and the lady misconstrued it when I'm putting it back into the bag, she think I'm taking the honey off their table. So I was basically racially profiled, because I just didn't bought the most expensive breakfast that your establishment has. I just bought a steak and egg breakfast. What I need to steal your honey for? Mm-hmm. If I just bought a steak and egg breakfast, you didn't see me pull money from my pocket, my sock, my wallet. You didn't see me pull money from everywhere. And you think I'm gonna steal a honey? But it was a stereotype of this dude. He may be on drugs. He got this duffel bag. We don't know what he up to. He could be stealing. And so they called the police on him. And then when the police, and this was around that time, I think this was around that time, 2016, 2017, when a lot of brothers was just getting shot down for being black. Just, the police show up and you black, we killing you. That it was around that time. So when the police show up, I just throw the knife. So when I throw the knife and they find it, now it becomes what they call a dirk and dagger charge, because when they find it, it done flipped open. So now they don't know if I done threw it and had it open did I was bearing it and had it open, or did I throw it and it just came open? So now it becomes something called a dirk and dagger, and it's basically like having a gun.
Wow. And you got 32 months.
I got 32 months for that.
You almost in 3 years just for that.
It's a crooked system, man. It's a crooked system. Once they got you in the system, they're gonna keep you in the system. You got a dog tag on you. You know what I'm saying? You a number in the system, and they're gonna keep you in the system as long as they possibly could. That's the plan.
So let me ask you a question. We never asked if you did any drugs.
Yeah.
Did you do any drugs?
I've tried just about every drug.
Not every drug.
Yeah.
What is every drug?
Wow, I've never smoked crack.
Well, that's one of the drugs.
I've snorted cocaine.
Okay. What else?
I've snorted crystal meth.
Okay.
I snorted heroin before.
Okay.
I've done shrooms. I popped Xanax bars.
What in the hell is that?
It's a psycho antidepressant pill, but I had an episode off that. I'd never do that again. But
what was
I
it
tried
called?
ecstasy pills, a Xanax bar.
Is it like a bar?
It's they call it a bar because it comes in like four. You could break it down.
Who in the hell sells that?
The pharmacy, the legal dope dealer, man. The legal dope dealer that writes you that script and tell him go to his trap. you know, at Walgreens and CVS.
Oh, is
and go
that where
holler
that
at
came
them.
from?
Yeah, that's where it comes from. That's where a lot of this stuff comes from.